New York doctor notices something strange about woman on TV, immediately jumps into actions. Most people watch reality TV for entertainment, but not Dr. Eric Voit. What he saw on screen that night set off alarms only a trained eye could detect. Dr. Eric Voit wasn't expecting anything unusual that evening. It was just another quiet night in his New York apartment. After a long day at the hospital, filled with back-to-back consultations and surgeries, he was finally settling into his favorite chair, remote in hand, scrolling through channels in search of something light to watch. Beachfront Bargain Hunt. Perfect. A real estate reality show where happy couples tour idyllic coastal properties. Just the kind of mindless escape he needed after a grueling shift. He poured himself a cup of tea, kicked off his shoes, and let the soothing sound of waves and upbeat narration fill the room. But then something caught his eye. At first, it was subtle, so subtle that anyone else would have missed it entirely. As the couple on the screen walked through a sunlit beachfront house, the woman, introduced as Nicole, tilted her head ever so slightly while talking to the realtor. And in that fleeting moment, something didn't sit right with him. Dr. Voit leaned forward, squinting at the TV screen. "Did I just see that?" he murmured to himself, his years of medical training instinctively kicking in. He watched closely, scrutinizing every movement she made. There it was again, a barely noticeable lump at the base of her neck, appearing only when she swallowed or turned her head a certain way. His heart rate quickened. He had seen this before, and it had never meant anything good. To the world, Dr. Eric Voit was just another accomplished ear, nose, and throat surgeon working at a renowned hospital in New York City. But to those who knew him personally, he was something of an enigma, an unwavering perfectionist with an uncanny ability to notice what others overlooked. His career had been defined by moments of keen observation, spotting minute signs that led to life-changing diagnoses. It wasn't just a job, it was his obsession. Whether it was identifying a rare vocal cord disorder during a routine checkup or catching early signs of a more sinister condition, Dr. Voit had built his reputation on his extraordinary attention to detail. But this time it was different. This wasn't a patient in his office. It was a complete stranger on television, someone oblivious to the potential danger lurking within. Nicole, a real estate agent, a wife, an avid traveler. She had joined the show with her husband to celebrate a major milestone, finally purchasing their dream vacation home in North Carolina. From the way she laughed and excitedly toured properties, it was clear she had no idea about the silent threat that could be growing inside her. Dr. Voit found himself wondering, how long had it been there? Had she experienced any symptoms? Did she even know what to look for? The conflict brewing inside him was immediate and consuming. Should he intervene? Was it even his place? His logical side urged caution. After all, what if he was wrong? It wasn't uncommon for benign thyroid nodules to exist without causing harm. He could easily be overthinking it. But deep down, something gnawed at him, a voice that had never steered him wrong before. "She needs to know," he whispered to himself, eyes still glued to the screen. But how? Nicole was just a face on a television screen. The show didn't provide any personal details beyond her first name. Tracking her down wouldn't be easy, and even if he did manage to reach her, how would she react? A stranger claiming he saw something ominous on TV might come across as intrusive, even unsettling. Doubt lingered. What if she ignored him? What if it was too late? Dr. Voit took a deep breath and made a decision. He would do whatever it took to reach Nicole. What happened next would change both their lives forever. Dr. Eric Voit's eyes remained fixed on the screen, his once relaxed demeanor now replaced with intense focus. He watched as Nicole turned her head slightly, flashing a radiant smile at the camera while discussing the stunning ocean view. And there it was again, a small, almost imperceptible swelling just above her collarbone, appearing and disappearing with each tilt of her neck. He rewound the footage, his pulse quickening. His trained eye wasn't easily deceived. Over the years, he had diagnosed countless patients with thyroid abnormalities, many of whom had come to him with vague symptoms: fatigue, difficulty swallowing, subtle changes in their voice. But what he saw now was more than just a casual observation. It was a red flag waving boldly in front of him. Nicole's lump wasn't prominent, But it was there, lurking beneath the surface. A slight asymmetry in her neck, a shadow that appeared only when she spoke in a certain way. To the average viewer, it was nothing. To Dr. Voit, it was a ticking time bomb. His mind raced through the possibilities. A benign goiter? Perhaps. But what if it was something worse? Thyroid cancer, an insidious disease that often goes unnoticed until it's too late. The thought sent a chill down his spine. This wasn't just a random woman on television anymore. This was a potential patient who needed to know immediately. But reaching out wasn't that simple. Sitting back in his chair, Dr. Voit rubbed his temples. The ethical dilemma gnawed at him. Was he overstepping? Was this even his place? Nicole wasn't his patient. She had no idea that a stranger, sitting miles away, was now deeply invested in her health. What if he was wrong? What if she dismissed him as a crazed internet doctor fishing for attention? Worse yet, what if she simply ignored him, allowing time to slip by while the potential malignancy spread? The weight of responsibility pressed down on him like never before. With a sigh, he grabbed his laptop and started digging. The show didn't provide last names, no personal details, nothing beyond Nicole and her husband, searching for their dream beach home. It was a needle in a haystack. But Dr. Voit wasn't the type to give up easily. He scoured social media platforms, typing in keywords: Nicole, North Carolina, beachfront real estate. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, he checked them all. Hours passed, his tea long gone cold, but persistence was his strong suit. Eventually, a breakthrough. A public post from a friend of Nicole's, congratulating her on appearing on Beachfront Bargain Hunt. It was a small breadcrumb, but it was enough. From there, he traced through likes, comments, and tags, slowly piecing together fragments of her digital footprint. And finally he found it, a recent post from Nicole herself, an idyllic snapshot of her and her husband standing in front of a newly purchased vacation home, grinning ear to ear. The caption read, "Our dream come true. Here's to endless summers and new beginnings." Dr. Voit hesitated, his finger hovering over the message button. How do you start this conversation? "Hi, you don't know me, but I think you may have cancer." It was a delicate line to walk, and any misstep could cost him the chance to warn her. After several drafts and deletions, he settled on something straightforward yet compassionate. "Hi, Nicole. I hope you don't mind me reaching out. I'm Dr. Eric Voit, an ENT specialist from New York. I happened to see you on HGTV recently and noticed something concerning about your thyroid area. I know this may seem unusual, but I urge you to consider getting it checked. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions." He hit send and waited. The minutes felt like hours. Then hours turned into days. No response. Dr. Voigt's mind spiraled through every possibility. Had she seen the message? Did she dismiss it as spam? Or worse, had it simply been buried in an ocean of unread notifications? He refreshed the page repeatedly, hoping for any sign that she had acknowledged it. Frustration mounted, but giving up wasn't an option. He decided to take a different approach. Instead of relying solely on social media, he reached out to contacts within the medical and media industries. A former patient of his, who happened to work in television production, offered to connect him with someone at HGTV. It was a long shot, but it paid off. A producer from the show responded to his inquiry, intrigued but understandably cautious. After explaining his observations and providing his credentials, they agreed to pass his message along to Nicole through their internal channels. Still, uncertainty loomed. What if she disregarded it entirely? What if she was too afraid to act? Dr. Voit knew all too well the power of denial. Many patients ignored warning signs, choosing to believe everything was fine until it was too late. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, a notification lit up his phone. A new message. "Nicole, thyroid Voit." Wow, I don't know what to say. I never noticed anything, but now that you mention it, I've been feeling more tired than usual. Should I really be concerned? Relief flooded through him. She was listening. That was all he needed. He quickly replied with reassurance and guidance, urging her to schedule an ultrasound and biopsy as soon as possible. Time was of the essence, and he could only hope she would follow through. 3. Taking action, the race against time. Dr. Eric Voit had done his part, or so he thought. He had sent the message, reached out through every available channel, and now, all he could do was wait. But waiting had never been his strong suit. In his world, time was precious, often the thin line between life and death. And in this case, he had a gut feeling that time was not on Nicole's side. While the first message to Nicole had gone unanswered for what felt like an eternity, Dr. Voit refused to sit still. He knew from experience that persistence often made the difference, and so he crafted a multi-pronged approach to ensure his warning would reach her, one way or another. First, he tapped into his network. A former colleague now working at a top hospital in North Carolina provided insights into local specialists who might be able to help if Nicole were to seek medical attention. He also reached out to a friend at a well-known health-focused social media page, hoping they could subtly push thyroid awareness messages that might catch her eye. Simultaneously, he monitored Nicole's social media activity. She had posted about her new vacation home just days earlier. Perhaps another post could present an opportunity to comment discreetly, urging her to check her health without alarming the public. But nothing came close to the tension he felt when his hospital's PR department managed to get in touch with a producer from Beachfront Bargain Hunt. They agreed to forward his concerns to Nicole's representatives. But even then, there were no guarantees. And then, finally, a response. Nicole's message came late one evening. Voit, I'm not sure what to think about your message. I never noticed anything strange, but I have been feeling more exhausted than usual. Should I be worried? It wasn't exactly relief, but it was a start. Dr. Voit wasted no time in replying, explaining the possible implications without causing panic. He carefully guided her toward taking the next steps, urging her to visit a specialist for an ultrasound and biopsy, while reassuring her that early detection could make all the difference. The waiting game had shifted. Now it was Nicole's turn to act. Nicole scheduled an appointment with an endocrinologist within the week, but the days leading up to it were filled with anxiety and uncertainty. Her initial confidence had begun to waver, and the realization that a stranger from television might have spotted something she'd overlooked was deeply unsettling. Sitting in the waiting room, flipping through outdated magazines, she found herself replaying Dr. Voigt's words over and over. What if he was right? What if all those recent bouts of fatigue and unexplained weight fluctuations hadn't been due to stress? The ultrasound technician was kind but professional, and as the cold gel touched her neck, Nicole felt a chill run down her spine. She watched the screen as the probe moved slowly over her thyroid, every shadow and contour scrutinized in silence. The doctor's expression remained neutral, but Nicole could sense the weight of their focus. Let's get a biopsy just to be safe, the doctor finally said. Nicole's heart sank. This was real. The biopsy itself was quick, but left her neck sore and her mind racing. Now came the hardest part, waiting for the results. Every hour felt like an eternity. She avoided social media, avoided telling her family too much. Her husband, though supportive, could see the fear creeping into her otherwise sunny demeanor. When the phone call finally came, her hands trembled as she answered. The doctor's voice was calm yet direct. Nicole, the results indicate that the mass is malignant. It's thyroid cancer. The good news is we've caught it early. The words echoed in her mind. Cancer. She had cancer. Tears welled in her eyes. But amid the fear, there was a strange sense of gratitude. If not for Dr. Voigt's random observation, how much longer would she have gone without noticing? Nicole wasted no time reaching back out to him. Her message was brief, but filled with emotion. You saved my life. I don't even know how to thank you. Dr. Voit read the message with a quiet sense of relief, but he knew their journey was far from over. Nicole's treatment plan was set into motion swiftly. The doctors recommended surgery to remove the affected part of her thyroid, followed by hormone therapy to regulate her body's functions. Though thyroid cancer is often highly treatable, it didn't make the journey any less daunting. On the day of the surgery, Nicole lay on the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to calm her nerves. The reality of her situation hit her hard. This wasn't just a small lump. It was a battle she hadn't even known she was fighting until now. Post-surgery recovery was tough. Adjusting to the hormone therapy brought its own set of challenges: fatigue, mood swings, and the lingering fear of recurrence. But through it all, she remained grateful. She often found herself thinking about how a stranger, simply watching television, had taken the time to reach out and change her life. Nicole decided to use her story to inspire others. She began documenting her journey, sharing insights about thyroid health, and raising awareness about the importance of early detection. Her social media posts, once filled with travel snapshots, were now interspersed with updates on her recovery and heartfelt messages encouraging others to pay attention to their health. Her newfound purpose resonated with thousands. Messages poured in from people who had noticed lumps of their own, who had ignored symptoms for too long, or who simply needed a reminder to take their health seriously. Nicole's story had become a beacon of hope. And as for Dr. Voit, he continued his work, but Nicole's case remained a powerful reminder of why he had chosen medicine in the first place. Not for the accolades, but for moments like these, where a single observation could change the course of a person's life. Nicole never imagined that a casual appearance on a home-buying reality show would turn her life upside down. But what she never anticipated even more was the overwhelming wave of support, attention, and inspiration that followed. What started as a private health scare had now become a global conversation, one that resonated with thousands, if not millions, of people worldwide. It all started with a simple post. Nicole, still recovering from her surgery and adjusting to life post-treatment, decided to share her story publicly. She crafted a heartfelt message detailing how a complete stranger, Dr. Eric Voit, had spotted something she never would have noticed and how his quick actions had potentially saved her life. She ended with a call to action. Check your neck. Sometimes the smallest signs can mean the biggest things. Within hours, the post began to gain traction. Friends and family shared it, followed by acquaintances and then strangers. Soon, it caught the attention of major media outlets. Morning talk shows, online health magazines, and news websites began picking up the story, spreading it far and wide. The hashtag #CheckYourNeck started trending on social media, with thousands of people posting their own experiences and concerns. Stories poured in from individuals who had dismissed minor symptoms, only to discover serious health conditions after Nicole's post inspired them to seek medical advice. Nicole, once an ordinary woman shopping for a beach house, was now an unexpected advocate for thyroid health. But with the attention came mixed emotions. She was grateful, of course, but also overwhelmed. Strangers were reaching out with questions, sharing their fears, and seeking guidance she wasn't sure she could provide. Yet, amid the chaos, there was a sense of purpose. Her story was making a real difference. Nicole's inbox flooded with messages, some from strangers, others from individuals who had faced similar battles. Cancer survivors reached out, offering words of encouragement and sharing their own experiences with early detection. One message stood out from a young mother named Lisa, who had always felt a slight tightness in her throat but ignored it for years. After reading Nicole's story, she finally booked an appointment, and the results confirmed an early-stage thyroid tumor. "You saved my life too," Lisa wrote, and Nicole felt an emotional weight she had never known before. Medical professionals also chimed in. Doctors from various parts of the world applauded Dr. Voit's sharp instincts and dedication. Several health organizations, including the American Thyroid Association, reached out to collaborate with Nicole to raise awareness on a broader scale. They offered to feature her in campaigns, speaking engagements, and even a national PSA on the importance of thyroid health. Dr. Voit himself remained humble through it all. When asked by reporters about his role in Nicole's story, he simply said, "I do what any doctor would do. Our job isn't just in the clinic. It's wherever we're needed, whether in an office, on a plane, or even in front of a television screen." The story resonated deeply with people beyond just health concerns. It became a testament to the idea that kindness, even in its smallest form, could have life-altering effects. A doctor watching TV, a message sent, a life saved. As Nicole's story continued to spread, the conversation shifted toward health awareness and the importance of preventive care. Medical experts took the opportunity to educate the public on the signs of thyroid issues, including unexplained weight changes, fatigue and mood fluctuations, swelling or lumps in the neck area, difficulty swallowing, or persistent hoarseness. Nicole herself began advocating for routine health checkups, She started sharing her experiences with the diagnostic process, demystifying the fear surrounding medical tests. In collaboration with a local hospital, she launched a campaign offering free thyroid screenings to individuals who might otherwise ignore their symptoms. The impact was profound. Clinics saw a noticeable uptick in patients coming in for thyroid checks. Physicians reported catching more early cases than ever before. Nicole's story had not only saved her life, but potentially countless others. "I never thought I'd be here speaking about my health on national television," she confessed in an interview. "But if my journey can help even one person take their health seriously, then it's all been worth it." The lesson was clear. Early detection saves lives. Nicole's journey from a simple reality TV participant to a health advocate had been unexpected, but she embraced it fully. She continued to document her recovery, showing the ups and downs, the small victories, and the ongoing challenges. Meanwhile, Dr. Voigt's story inspired other medical professionals to pay closer attention to the world around them, reminding them that their expertise wasn't limited to hospital walls. Conferences invited him to speak on the importance of intuition in medicine, and he used his platform to stress the significance of thorough examinations and patient awareness. The partnership between Nicole and Dr. Voit blossomed into something more, a campaign that would eventually be funded by healthcare organizations to spread thyroid awareness through schools, workplaces, and social media platforms. And while Nicole continued to enjoy her beach house, a symbol of the dream she had initially pursued, she knew that the true gift she had received was something much greater, a second chance at life and the opportunity to help others find theirs. As the whirlwind of media attention slowly faded and life returned to a new normal, both Dr. Eric Voit and Nicole Maginus found themselves reflecting on the incredible journey that had unfolded. What had started as a fleeting moment, an ordinary evening of watching television, had transformed their lives in ways neither of them could have imagined. For Dr. Voit, the experience reinforced a truth he had always believed. Medicine isn't just about treating patients within the confines of a hospital. It's about being present, observant, and willing to act, even in the most unexpected moments. Nicole's case had reminded him why he had chosen this profession in the first place: to make a difference, to give people a fighting chance they might not have had otherwise. He often thought about how many similar cases might be slipping through the cracks, unnoticed and undiagnosed. His daily routine at the hospital now held new meaning. Every patient, every routine checkup became an opportunity to change a life. And outside of work, he had become a firm advocate for public health awareness, using Nicole's story as a beacon of hope and caution. As for Nicole, the experience had reshaped her entire perspective on life. Once someone who had taken her health for granted, she now embraced every day with newfound gratitude. The simple joys of walking along the beach, enjoying time with loved ones, and feeling healthy were no longer overlooked. She had become a vocal advocate for thyroid health awareness, dedicating her time to spreading the message about early detection and regular checkups. Nicole's social media platforms, once filled with real estate listings and vacation photos, were now thriving with posts about her health journey, inspirational messages, and heartfelt encouragements to others who might be facing similar battles. She no longer viewed herself as just a survivor, but as a fighter, someone who had been given a second chance and was determined to make it count. Nicole's story is a powerful reminder that health isn't something to be taken lightly. It's easy to brush off minor discomforts or changes in our bodies, attributing them to stress, aging, or a busy lifestyle. But the truth is, our bodies often whisper before they scream, and it's up to us to listen. Dr. Voit urges everyone, if something doesn't feel right, don't ignore it. Seek medical advice. The earlier a condition is detected, the better the chances of a positive outcome. Nicole echoes his sentiments, encouraging everyone to take a proactive approach. Observe yourself. Pay attention to small changes in your body that might indicate underlying health issues. Be proactive. Schedule regular health checkups, even when you feel fine. Encourage loved ones. Remind your family and friends to prioritize their health as well. She often tells her followers, if this can happen to me, someone who never noticed a thing, then it can happen to anyone. Don't wait until it's too late.